This type of fire was 100% preventable. I've begged the U.S. Forest Service, our local officials, that these projects that they were going to do at the head of this would not stop this from happening. I told them this would happen, and I've been telling them we can make this to where it does not happen, and they could have. Unfortunately, what I told them fell on deaf ears. My name's Tad Houpt. I've logged for about 35 years. I've done just about every job there is: slash treatments, timber fall unskidding, etc. I've helicopter logged, line logged, cat skidder logged, and I've managed a lot of private property. If you look in the background, the difference between this green stuff, which is logged and thin timber, and all the stuff in the back is unmanaged timberland managed by the U.S. Forest Service. If it had been managed like this and logged, thinned, and cleaned up, it would have never ever looked like that. There's virtually nothing alive on the other side of the canyon over there, and all that burnt within an hour. Did the same thing on this side of the canyon, but where it hit private lands that were well managed, the fire laid down. It took a ways for it to lay down, but it went right down to the ground, and as you can see, the trees are still alive. The problem isn't even close to being over. This is just the start of the problems. Now we're going to have massive flooding, and there's 2 towns down the canyon from this, and if they don't do immediate work on the creek channel, widening it and deepening it, there's going to be probably thousands of people that are affected from the flood. This entire drainage is burnt out. It's a very unique drainage. It's enormous, and it goes from 3,000 feet to almost 9,000 feet, and it has a huge snow load area. It's solid rock, as you can see, which will absorb very little water very slowly. Then we'll have to look at if this isn't salvaged, which almost likely this will never be salvaged. All this stuff will fall over, and within a few years you'll have cyanosis growing up through it, and you'll have a way bigger fuel load than when this just burnt. It's time the policies change. We have to quit taking areas on a map and drawing a circle around them and saying we're protecting it with that line on a map, because that doesn't protect anything. All the private landowners in this canyon had their land, at the worst, semi-managed. Most of them had their land manicured, but there wasn't enough area in between the forest, managed by the federal government, or so-called managed by the federal government, and their land for it to slow down. So it nuked them, and a lot of these people lost their homes. We need to learn from this right now. This didn't have to happen at all. As you can see, I've managed this green timber, and I've managed well over 1,000 acres here on my land and on others, adjoining landowners, and it laid the fire to the ground, and they kept it from burning town. If this would have been done all over the federally managed lands, we would have never ever even had a fire this big in the first place. You just cannot get fires that get this enormous unless you have the fuels there.